All right, JW's going to share a story tonight about somebody very special in his life. It's his dad. His dad was basically a walking science experiment, which led to other people being able to be where they are now. Right now, currently, I'm following a little girl on Instagram who just got a heart transplant a few days ago. She'd been in the hospital exactly 365 days when she got the call that they'd found her heart. Organ donation is a two-part thing. The recipient, but then there's also that family that has chosen to donate those organs. And as far as I know, all 5 of us were organ donors on our IDs. It was...
Better be.
Yeah. It was something that our kids grew up knowing, and unfortunately, JW's dad died when the kids were really young, so they have... Madison has a few memories of him. Staley has a couple of memories, but Naaman has no memories of him because he was 9 months old the day he died. So we want to do this just to share and maybe encourage other people to go have that put on their ID. So there you go.
For those of you that know me, this will probably be the most words you've ever heard me say. Anyway, my daddy was born in 1942. He was born with one kidney. When he was 14, they had to cut part of it out. So he lived on part of a kidney till he was 26. When he 26, his kidney stopped functioning altogether. So he went to Charlotte Memorial Hospital, where he was the 24th patient that they done a kidney transplant on. His first kidney, I don't know where it came from. They cross-matched all the family to see if there were any donors. Uncle Bill was the only one, but he didn't want to do it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And I said the first one, I don't know where it come from, but he rejected it. And
how long did he have it before his body rejected it?
A couple months, not long. He didn't have it long. And then he went on dialysis right after that, and he became the first kidney or person in Stanley County to have home dialysis. Mama was trained and done be able to hook him up to the kidney machine. They brought it into the house. It looked like a washing machine sitting in there that Mama hooked him to every other day or 3 times a week. And his blood went through it, and it washed his blood in place of his kidneys. Anyway, this one, he was doing real well with this, and he had almost said he wasn't going to do a transplant again. He was just going to stay on the machine, but it was about a year.
But what would he do while he was on dialysis? He picked up different things.
He done it, all kinds of stuff. He'd read. He bought a knit machine. He'd learn to knit on that knit machine, and he just done, because when he was on it for like, I can't remember.
It was a long time, wasn't it?
It was several hours that he had to be on it every 3 times a week, or every other week, or every other day.
JW's dad was a lot like JW. He could fix most anything, and he could figure out anything.
And then sometimes he was, well, when he was still in Charlotte, going to Charlotte to be on dialysis, he learned to work on the kidney machines. He would be hooked to the kidney machine, and one would break, and they'd roll him over there and he'd fix it, which is amazing to me. But anyway, about a year went by, and he decided that, during all this, since he was so young, the hospital asked him if they could do some experimenting on him. So he signed all the papers, and they tried a bunch of different experimental drugs on him. And during he decided to have his second kidney transplant. It came from Indianapolis, Indiana. It was, when they finally got there, they almost didn't put it in him because it was so old. It was like 26 hours old. They almost didn't put it in him, but they did. And while he was in the hospital during that, he started bleeding internally from some of the new medicines they were trying, and his heart, he died for 2 minutes. But they got him back, and he was in the hospital for 63 days that time. And he come home, and he worked on he worked in a motorcycle shop. He rode a motorcycle, which his doctor did not like at all. And he'd been at home a while, and his kidney hadn't started working. It's been, I don't know exactly how long, but it hadn't started working. He hadn't started making urine for himself, and then he went somewhere on the motorcycle and he wrecked. And he got back home. Boy, my mama was mad. But that night, his kidney went to work. There you go. And then he lived on it for 18 years. On a kidney from a man in Indianapolis, Indiana.
He took a lot of medicines and stuff.
Yeah, he had to take rejection medicine and stuff. He had to take it the rest of his life. It took a toll on his body. Because he died when he was 47. He looked like he was in his 80s.
Yeah. But what would the medicine do to him?
Huh?
When y'all had the TV business, the electronics business? How his skin would...
Oh, yeah, it made his, well, his sweat would eat metal. We had an electronics business, and he would ride in the van, and where he laid his arm on the van, where he'd sweated on it, it had rusted it out, pitted. And we installed TV antennas and stuff, and we started out with galvanized brackets and straps, and they started rusting in two and breaking, so we had to change over to stainless steel, because if he sweated on it, it would eat the metal up. Mm-hmm. It was the darndest thing I ever seen. But anyway.
Can you tell about when they bought this house and the store building?
Oh, yeah. I was just graduated, just got out of the 8th grade. It was the summer between the 8th grade and going to North Stanley. And Daddy asked me to come out in the yard with him. He wanted to talk to me. I was 14. And he said that he wanted to buy, he went back to school and got his electronic engineering degree. And he said that he had come he wanted to buy a business. And he said he was going to need my help to run it. He said he knew it was a lot to put on me, but he said he didn't think that he could make it without me. So I said I'd do anything I could to help him. So I worked with him every evening after school and every weekend in the electronics shop. That's what we did. And then he had a heart attack when he was 35, and he had to quit. He tried to go back to work, but his heart wouldn't let him.
You need to tell about the day that he had his heart attack.
Yeah. We was down at the shop, or down at the store beside our house is where we had the electronics shop. And I was down there with him. I can't remember where I was at, but he come got me and said, "You need to take me to the hospital. I think I'm having a heart attack." So I got him in the van. We took off to the hospital. And on the way to the hospital, he smoked 2 packs of Camels a day.
No filter.
No filter. And he always kept some laying on the hump of the fan. And we was on the way to the hospital. He reached for one, had the pack in his hand. He said, "Look at me. Here having a heart attack, and I'm trying to smoke a cigarette." He laid him down, didn't ever pick him up again. He never, when he's had his heart attack, he didn't ever pass out or anything. He stayed functional the whole way to the hospital.
And you were how old?
I was in 11th grade, so I was 17.
16, 17 years old.
I was 7. I think I was.
You're probably 17.
I think I was 17. And but he had a hard life. He was rough around the edges. He died in 1990, and I still miss him today.
He got to see all of his grandkids.
Kids except for Bradley,
Yeah.
and that's all I got to say about that.
He was a tough guy.
Yes, he was.
He was stubborn.
If you looked in the dictionary under stubborn, you see his picture.
The only thing JW got like his daddy was his name.
Yeah. Yeah. My hands.
Your
called.
hands are like his, but in all the years I've known you, I've seen you mad one time.
Yeah.
And your daddy could get mad in a skinny minute, but the day that those kids were, or people were out there riding 4-wheelers on our property and they popped off at you, it was kind of scary to see you coming across the yard because I thought your daddy had come back. But, there's parts of your daddy, I don't know about the girls. I know that Naaman carries some of him. His love of information, and
Yeah, Daddy was always reading. He loved to read facts.
we always say, I wonder what he would have done if he'd lived long enough to see the internet. Because he just lived for that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he could have had his own how-to channel on YouTube because he could fix absolutely anything.
If he couldn't fix it, it couldn't be fixed. It didn't matter what it was.
And he could weld and do mechanic work and electronics and
Yep.
could fix a car like nobody in this world. He liked to cook.
Yeah.
He loved to fish.
Yeah.
He'd go fishing as many days as he could get get in the car and drive there. He had a dog. They had a lot of dogs. Since I've been around, they had a lot of dogs, but there was one dog that was Johnny's very best buddy, Critter. And Johnny would go down to the hydro dam and climb down in there. He'd put a ladder down to one of the teeth of the dam, and he'd go down in there and go down that ladder. Well, Critter could go up and down that ladder just as good as a man.
Yeah.
But after Johnny died, we brought a video over here. He died in July after Staley turned 2.
Yeah.
She turned 2 in February, and then he died in July. But I've lost my train of thought.
Welcome to my world.
ADHD, there you go. But anyway, we took a video of Staley's birthday party.
He's talking about Critter.
Yeah. And we brought it over here. and we wanted to show JW's mom. So we brought it over here and we were playing it, and Critter was sitting there with me in front of a chair. And where our dining room is now was a den, and Johnny always sat on the couch in there, laid on the couch in there. And we were in what is our living room. And when he heard Johnny's voice, he took off in there and looked. And Johnny wasn't in there, obviously. When he come back, he sat there with his head down. Probably one of the saddest things.
Mm.
But we're blessed to have known him,
Yeah.
and blessed to know that we'll see him.
Yeah.
It's hard to watch your spouse lose a parent. I'm blessed in that I still have both of mine. And they're both in good shape.
Yeah.
You know, to be their ages and, you know, to have gone through the stuff they've gone through. I'm just sad that Naaman has no memory.
Yeah.
But Naaman's definitely not natured like him.
No.
I don't think either one of the girls are. Staley looks the most like him, though.
Yeah.
She's a lot of story. Anyway, organ donation gave JW his dad.
Yep. So
And
if
he-
you're not, you need to be.
He ended up
'Cause
passing
it don't
away.
cost you anything.
No. And the gift that you give,
Is amazing.
yep. This little girl that I've been following, I think she's maybe 6 or 7, maybe. You know, but she was born with a heart defect, and it's been very touching to watch that. She's only 3 days out from having surgery, and she's already sitting in a chair. But I think about all of these people who have had the heart to donate, you know, their loved ones, organs and stuff. Or, you know, I have an uncle that passed away a couple of years ago. He donated his whole body to science. And we got the cremains back, and he's buried in Salisbury in the veteran cemetery. But somebody will reap from that, you know. But this was not to bring anybody down. It was just to encourage you to be an organ donor. Right?
Yep.
So hopefully there's enough of us left to donate.
Yeah. I don't know.
Might be wore out by then, won't it?
Yeah.
All right. We'll see y'all.
Bye.